Thank you very, very much. So how this works tonight is we're going to have this broken up into 3 sections, okay? First, each of the 4 companies will make 10-minute business plan pitches, followed by 1 or 2 questions from the audience. After that, we're going to take a brief break and we will electronically vote for our winners, okay? You're each going to get 2 votes, 1 for a life science company and 1 for an IT company. Then after we vote, we'll take a short break, reconvene, and present the winners. Without further ado, to present our first finalist tonight is San Diego Venture Group board member Eric Otterson of our wine provider, Silicon Valley Bank. Eric?
I'm ready to do my first IPO here. So, I'm Eric Otterson, the managing director of Silicon Valley Bank. Where else would you want to borrow money? I'd like to just make one message clear, mostly to our entrepreneurs in the crowd. When you're ready to take on additional equity, don't forget that debt will help better balance your cost of capital. So give us a call. All right, so with that, let's welcome our first presenter of the evening, Sean Saint, the CEO of Companion Medical. Thank you, Sean.
All right, good evening. My name's Sean Saint. I'm the CEO of Companion Medical. And I'm also a type 1 diabetic. That means I take 6 or more shots of insulin every day, and I check my blood sugar 10 or more times. It is complicated. So I decided to start this company to bring cheaper, easier to use, and clinically superior technologies to people coping with this disease. And today I'll tell you about how we do that. So I've been designing better devices for people with diabetes for over a decade. Companies like Tandem Diabetes Care and Dexcom. I did take a couple of years off in the middle there to start an aesthetic surgery company. The other members of our management team, Marty and Ken, have equally appropriate experience with management, finance, and engineering. We work with talented local contractors for engineering, sales and marketing, and quality. And we've assembled a very strong advisory board of industry experts and key opinion leading healthcare providers. Diabetes is a true epidemic. It affects over 350 million people globally. And we all know it causes horrible complications like blindness, amputation, heart disease. And if you take too much insulin, it can cause confusion, coma, and even death. These complications cost the US economy $254 billion last year. That accounts for 1 in 5 healthcare dollars spent. And it's the 7th leading cause of death. But there is some good news. It doesn't have to be this way. As Dr. Polonsky, a leading diabetes researcher, said, well-managed diabetes is the leading cause of nothing. So what if we could reduce these complications by 25% or more? What if we could save the healthcare system billions of dollars per year? What if we could do that by providing a $500 device instead of a $5,000 insulin pump, a device preferred by 93% of patients? Well, by combining the best features of insulin pumps and insulin pens, Companion's done just that. And we already have a working prototype. So hemoglobin A1C is a long-term measure of your blood sugar. Really, this is how well controlled your diabetes is. And that's what the graph here shows. As your A1C increases, your risk of complications increases. And that's what Dr. Polonsky meant. Keep that A1C under control, and you eliminate the risk of diabetes complications. Sounds easy, right? So how do you do that? You have to do this math shown here. Obviously, this is very hard, but it also requires that you track every single insulin dose. So realistically, most patients estimate, all right, they guess. Now, insulin pumps have been shown to reduce complications because they do that complicated diabetes math for you. But only 7% of patients wear them because they're costly, they're complicated, and you have to wear them on your body 24/7. 93% of patients use either an insulin pen or syringe because they're cheap and they're easy, but they just can't do what pumps can, until now. Companion's designed an insulin pen using Bluetooth, which tracks your doses right to your smartphone. This allows us to provide insulin pump features like dose calculators, dose reminders, and therapy reporting right on your phone. So like an insulin pump, we provide a dose calculator. This feature alone has been shown to improve diabetes control by as much as a pump. We also provide dose reminders and therapy reporting for your healthcare provider. This is a critical feature for your physician to understand what therapy you've been providing and how to help you. It's the type of information they get from an insulin pump, but they haven't had this for their pen and their syringe users. Remember, 93% of patients. We also offer temperature alerts. If your insulin gets too hot or too cold, it can lose its effectiveness and the user won't even know. And also remote notifications for parents and loved ones to monitor your therapy remotely. This is a feature that doesn't exist today, even with insulin pumps. And luckily, this is all low technical risk because we've already built it. Now, we've listed all of our competitors here across the top of the slide. These are either in development or released. And you can see that none of them have our features and our benefits. And we believe each one of these products has missed the mark in one of two important ways. Either they've offered far too little benefit or far too much complexity. Now, we have 2 patents pending, and these cover some of our ease of use features. And I want to talk about just one of them tonight, something we call prime differentiation. The way you ordinarily use an insulin pen is that you prime the needle by squirting some insulin onto the ground. You then inject your dose, and you're done. Companion has a method to correctly identify only the injected insulin. Without this, the user would have to go into their smartphone and adjust each and every dose. And we know that they're not willing to do this because they're not logging doses today. So we believe this feature alone allows Companion to be the only company to make a smart pen that people will actually use. Now, we've also done an informal freedom to operate search, and we found no issues with that. Now, we've decided to focus our initial marketing efforts on the type 1 or juvenile onset patient population. And these patients have a choice. They can use the high-cost devices on the left, like insulin pumps, continuous glucose monitors, and remote monitors, which each cost thousands of dollars per year, or they can use the standard low-tech devices like pens and syringes on the right, which are minimal cost. We believe there's a clear need for a product which bridges the gap between the high and low-cost devices, bringing the benefits of the high-cost group at a price much closer to the other side. And we intend to focus on these 2 patient populations. Now, we intend to sell our device for $500, and it costs us $25 to make. So we have significant margins. Our product lasts 1 year. There's no recharging. There's no replacing the battery. Use it for a year and throw it away. And we believe it will be covered by the pharmacy benefit of many insurance plans right out of the gate. Obviously, diabetes is a huge market. So focusing our initial patient population of the type 1 patients who own smartphones yields an addressable market of $1.4 billion. If we include the type 2 patients, these are adult onset diabetics, our market doubles. If we include India and China, it could triple again. Because we're focused on only the type 1 diabetics, we can call on just the endocrinologists. And there's about 5,000 of those in this country. So that means we can have a small sales force like a pump company. We intend to start with about 10 reps, scaling to about 40 over the first several years. We'll also have to have a few targeted distributors, and we're in discussions with those now. And as I mentioned, the product will be covered under the pharmacy benefit of your insurance plan, so you pay your standard tier 3 drug copay, typically around $50 or so. Now in Europe, things work a little differently. We'll definitely be working through distributors there, and we already have one signed distribution agreement for Europe. So Companion has closed a $500,000 seed round. Invested in that company are the CEOs of 4 diabetes companies. We're very proud of that fact. We're now raising $4 million to support FDA 510(k) clearance, as well as Android and European product development. First revenues for the company will be in year 3, that's 2 years away, and we've projected them out through year 5 and shown valuations of the company at 8 and 10x revenue multiples. These are very reasonable for this industry. We've got a comp table up here that shows comps trading at 8 to 18x revenue. That gives us exit multiples for this round of between 20 and 30x conservatively. Now, our most likely exit's going to be by acquisition by a strategic partner, either Becton Dickinson, the largest manufacturer of needles and syringes, or one of the big 3 insulin manufacturers, Lilly, Novo, or Sanofi. So in summary, Companion has designed a product which is cheaper, it's more acceptable to the lion's share of patients, and it produces better clinical outcomes. We have the right team on this, And it's low technical risk, again, because we've already built it. So by providing benefits for the patient, the healthcare provider, and the payers, Companion's going to result in a huge win for investors. Thank you.
All right. Okay, we've got cool stuff. We got time for 1 or 2 questions. I'll run and find you with the mic if anybody's got anything. I see one in the back.
So you talked about you're testing yourself 10 times a day, but I didn't see in the mobile app where it tracked the test results of those 10 tests. Is there a way to manually enter that, or is it not important? And
yeah,
why not?
You can manually enter the information on our dose calculator page, which is the home screen of the app. The app will also automatically pull the data from HealthKit if you happen to be using a HealthKit-enabled BG meter. And thirdly, you don't have to do that. You only enter that information when you'd like to use the dose calculator, which would be some percentage of the doses you take.
Anyone else? You're that good.
I answered all the questions?
You're good.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right.
There we go. I'm on. Procopio has been a sponsor of PitchFest since I've been with Procopio. It's been over 8 years. We're proud sponsors. It's a great event. You can look around. Lots of great people here to meet. Lots of great companies. So I'm glad we're involved. It's been a lot of fun. I've been involved in the judging for a number of years, and we've seen a lot of good companies. So come to Procopio if you need some help. I'll let it lie at that. But for now, we're going to hear from Adam Markowitz, who's going to come and make his pitch to us.
Hello everyone, my name is Adam Markowitz. I am the founder and CEO at Portfolium, the LinkedIn for students. I want to start things off tonight with a little piece of history. In 1482, Leonardo da Vinci wrote the very first professional resume. There it is. It's been more than 500 years since da Vinci, and it's amazing, it doesn't look that much different than a modern day resume. And we all know our resumes are meant to inform others of our unique qualifications, but in reality, most resumes actually make us look the same as everyone else. And this is especially true for college students. Let me show you what I mean. Here's the resume of an aerospace engineering student with dreams of one day being an astronaut, next to a business student planning to start her own company after graduation, next to a marketing student and collegiate athlete hoping to land a job at a sports marketing agency. It's a little hard to tell who's who, let alone what makes them special or unique. And how can you possibly stand out when you look like everyone else? That's why I'm so excited today to introduce you to Portfolium, the ePortfolio network changing the way students market themselves to employers and get hired. It's an online network for students across all fields of study to bring their resumes to life and visually showcase their projects, skills, and experiences, giving employers a much deeper look into who they are and what they can do. I want to show you the portfolios of those same 3 students from before. Here's Nicholas, the engineer. He's showcasing samples of his real work and projects in these individual portfolio entries. Jacob, the student athlete, in one of Jacob's entries, he shares a 1-minute sports video compilation he edited at the University of North Carolina, and the sports marketing agency that just hired him said it was what pushed him over the edge in making their hiring decision. And Jolene, the business student, she's showcasing how she's successfully promoted local businesses here in San Diego using social media sites like Facebook and Twitter, which is a very in-demand skill these days, and one that you don't acquire through the traditional classroom setting. So you might be saying, that's great, but why don't these students just use LinkedIn? Well, my co-founders and I asked that same question. In fact, we interviewed and surveyed hundreds of thousands of students, and the most common answer we got, I don't have professional work experience to put on my LinkedIn. The second most common answer we got was, isn't LinkedIn for my parents? Now, while we got a good kick out of that, it actually made a lot of sense. Students spend 4 more years working on projects, papers, presentations. It's all academic or extracurricular, not professional. And the stats prove the same. Less than 19% of college students today are actively using LinkedIn. And the average age of a LinkedIn user is over 46 years old. So what happens when you give a student a portfolio? They use it. I want to reintroduce you to Nicholas, the now infamous engineering student at UC San Diego. I love sharing his story because it's indicative of so many others, and it helps explain a really important shift taking place today in recruiting. See, Nicholas grew up with the dream of designing and building rockets, and he wanted to work at the company Northrop Grumman. As an aerospace engineering student at UCSD, he thought he had a pretty good shot. But when he applied, he was almost immediately denied due to his average GPA. So he searched for a way to better connect with the company and share more than just his resume and his transcript. And after learning about Portfolium, he created his online profile, showcasing all of his projects, clubs, and extracurricular activities. Each entry in his portfolio helped him bring his passion to life, as he brought in photos, videos, even 3D models, and other multimedia content. And when he reapplied to Northrop, that original denial became an offer, one of now 3 job offers he has to decide between when he graduates. So what does that say about what hiring managers are looking for in students coming out of college today? It's not just GPA and test scores anymore. Passion, the ability to multitask, potential cultural fit at the company, and real-world skills are being weighed heavily in today's hiring decisions. That's why we're so proud to offer this tool to Nicholas and students everywhere to help them showcase what makes them truly special and what makes them hireable. Now, speaking of aerospace, I'm sure you've heard the phrase, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, or maybe it does in this case. My background is actually in astronautics. I have degrees from USC and UC San Diego, and I spent 4 years working on NASA's Space Shuttle program, where I met fellow co-founder and UCSD alum Neil Bloom. The idea for Portfolium was actually born from the fact that Neil and I landed those jobs after college by bringing portfolios into our job interviews. It wasn't until about 2 years later, when we were on the other side of that interview table and we were the ones conducting the interview, that we realized just how powerful that portfolio was and why it helped us land such amazing jobs after college. Our CTO, Daniel Rashlian, is a seasoned entrepreneur. Daniel built the very first API that allowed Twitter users to tweet a photo, scaling to 20 million users in just 1 year. I've personally known our CMO, Royce Rowan, since the 2nd grade. It's Royce's outside-the-box thinking, asking questions like, what if we could verify a student account on Portfolium by having them just enter in their student ID number? That led to full partnership integration with a registrar at UC San Diego, allowing students to now do just that. Our investors and advisors include some of the earliest employees at Facebook, LinkedIn, and theladders.com. They have a very deep understanding of the market we're in, the technology we're building, and they witnessed firsthand how the most successful tech companies in the world did it before us. And we launched Portfolium within the $130 billion global recruiting market. But we focused our product to serve the smaller and the most underserved niche, college recruiting, a $16 billion a year market here in the US alone, with 19 million college students, over 10% of which are here in the state of California. There are now over 50,000 students using Portfolium, representing more than 900 universities. 15 of those universities are currently paying Portfolium to deliver e-portfolios to their students and alumni, including the University of California system as a whole and Cal State San Marcos. When a university partners with Portfolium, we populate their students in their own exclusive network, where we can then track key data and analytics to provide back to the university, including job placement outcomes. Now, the #1 concern a university administrator has when paying for a product like this and rolling out to their campus is whether or not it will actually be adopted by the students. So our home-built administrator portal and rollout plan has allowed us to achieve some pretty amazing results in this regard. On September 3rd, we rolled out Portfolium to 30,000 students and alumni at Cal State San Marcos. On September 6th, just 3 days later, over 65% of the population had logged in to begin their portfolio. Keep in mind, the industry average for higher education is 10%. So we've proven our product to be almost 7 times more effective than the average products in our space. Now, Portfolium is currently generating revenue primarily through these university partnerships. And back in July, we unrolled the employer and recruiting interface on Portfolium and now have over 500 employers posting job and internship opportunities on their company profiles. As the student user base continues to grow at a rapid pace, Portfolium will generate long-term revenue the same way LinkedIn does, via monthly subscriptions for these employers and recruiters. This model has already been proven very successful by LinkedIn and many others, and also validated by our current employer users, including Greg Haller, president of Verizon on the West Coast. Verizon as a company hires more college students than any company in the US, so they truly understand the void Portfolium is filling. The online college recruiting space is an active one, with a number of recent partnerships and acquisitions from the likes of Chegg, Blackboard, and LinkedIn. Like most internet applications, there's not a lot of focus on defensible IP, so it really does come down to execution, and that's exactly what our team's been doing. These exclusive university partnerships create strong barriers of entry for our competitors. And by focusing our product on these beautifully organized student portfolios, we've been able to turn potential competitors into strategic partners. In fact, today I'm very excited to announce that we are finalizing a partnership with internmatch.com to deliver over 60,000 job and internship opportunities to our users, and to be a featured product offering to their 10 million college students currently using their venture-backed online system. In July, we raised a $900,000 seed round led by Tech Coast Angels and Crescent Ridge Partners. And in the time since, we've signed 3 new university partners, launched our completely re-baselined and scalable web application. And I'm very excited to announce that in the start of the new year, you'll be able to download the very first Portfolium iPhone app. We'll be the first student portfolio network to have an iPhone app. It's something our users have requested from day one, so we're very excited for this. In summary, Portfolium is a real product generating real results. Our team and advisors have proven track records, and we've proven our product to be almost 7 times more effective than standards in our space. These exclusive university partnerships are creating strong barriers of entry, and as always, we're very excited for what the future holds. Now, I started things off by telling you about the very first professional resume created by Leonardo da Vinci. But that was actually just half the story. Underneath that resume on Da Vinci's desk over 500 years ago, this is what you would have found. These are sketches, drawings, ideas, projects. You might see where I'm going with this. In my very, very biased opinion, the very first professional resume was actually a portfolio. My name's Adam Markowitz, and I encourage students everywhere to take a lesson from Da Vinci and bring your passions to life on Portfolium. Thank you.
Good stuff. I think we should probably limit the questions to people under the age of 46. Looks young. He looks young.
Yeah.
The lights are bright.
Good evening. I'm over 46. We all know there's a huge third-party aftermarket regarding how to sculpt your LinkedIn portfolio, how to make it appealing to potential employers. Do you have a component of advising these students on how to market themselves on your product, or do you anticipate that everywhere across universities there's going to be other organizations or companies trying to make a buck off of your product?
That's a good question. I actually have a supplemental slide. So less than 19% of college students are using LinkedIn, but for the ones that do, we actually have, we could sign up through Portfolio or through LinkedIn, and it'll bring over all of your information from LinkedIn and populate your portfolio. So we like to make it clear that we're not competing with LinkedIn. We're almost a supplement. Also, we're not competing with resumes. The resumes are always going to be there. This is a visual supplement. So I have a quick example here. This shows a LinkedIn profile where you can now just add a link. So the students who are on LinkedIn, who also have a portfolio, are able to embed their portfolio entries right onto their LinkedIn. So whether they get recruited from LinkedIn or from our product, that information is on the internet and they have it wherever they need it.
Hi, Alex DeNoble, San Diego State University, and I just want to offer a testament. I teach a freshman class, and I've brought Portfolium in and asked my students to start their Portfolium in their first semester freshman year. And it was just amazing to me to see the stories come to life, because I walk into a class and I just see a sea of faces. But with the Portfolium, with the stories that they put on, it just brought the whole class to life. And I want to thank the Portfolium for the work that you do, and I wish
You're
you the
welcome.
best. Thank you.
It's really rewarding. Thank you.
All right. He should have been sitting at the Portfolium table, but was not. One last one. This guy looks young. I like it.
So it occurs to me that, different from LinkedIn, that you guys are going to lose your customers after they acquire their first job. So is your acquisition of customer strategy to reach out to professors and the schools themselves to have them do the marketing, or are you going to be marketing directly to the incoming students during their orientations? How are you planning on continually refreshing that customer base?
That's a good question. So there is a continuous, obviously, crop of students coming in. There is the potential for high school students. So we have 4 partner high schools that are using it in their high school classrooms, so that by the time they graduate and go into college, they already have it with them. Also, when we partner with these universities, they are giving it to every one of their students. So it's a giant win-win for us when we partner with a school. Yes, they're paying us, but they're also populating our user base. So those incoming freshmen are handed a portfolio on day 1, which is great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So the script says that I'm supposed to say the first place winner gets this check of the life sciences group. And it is this check. So can you imagine the deposit slip that goes with this check?
We'll accept it.
So the first place winner of the life sciences is Companion.
And now for the first place winner in the tech category. I give you Bill Eichmann.
Take me, please. I always have been told to speak softly and carry a big check. The winner is a fantastic company, Portfolium.
Thank everybody for coming and supporting entrepreneurs in San Diego. Great show. Thank you to everybody. Drive safe and have a super festive, happy holiday.